Hi y'all, it's Brittany from Mama Fox of 4, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and hopefully you'll stick around for what's coming next. Today I am fantasizing my dream life, which is just to be out in the country, away from all the rigmarole and hustle and bustle of everyday life. Um, I hope to buy land and just build a debt free lifestyle. I don't want to find myself at 63, 65, um, trying to figure out how I'm going to continue to pay bills and having to continue to work. And not saying that that is many people, but it is for many people the reality. And um, I don't know. So, over the last 3 years, my entire vision for who I am and who I thought I wanted to be has shifted. I went from wanting to be this super boss babe. I mean, the nails, the hair, the beat face, all the things. Um, I used to kind of want that lifestyle, and then I ended up having to, basically quit my job so that I could become a homemaker. And while that has presented some challenges because you've really got to have a strong partnership um, in order for it to be successful, like, right? Although I know there's single moms that have found a way to make this work, so it's really just dependent on you. But for me, it was me depending on my partnership, and you can have a strong provider, but then things happen, life happens, and jobs get cut and layoffs happen, and so things get difficult. But throughout this season of ups and downs, financial, emotional, and all the things, I found out that there's another girl inside of me, and she is not chasing the boss babe dream. I now desire to have peace. Listen, outside of these pickup trucks that are passing me now, I can just hear the cicadas singing. It reminds me of my childhood. And like this look, my I was just FaceTiming my daughter and she was like, "Is that background real?" It's just beautiful. I've become attracted to nature. I've become attracted to green and blue and white and brown. And I know that's just weird. Like, just because you like nature doesn't mean that you just love those colors. But um, I just have a new vision of what I want. I want land. I want peace. I want self sustainability. I want crepe myrtles. I want a garden. I want chickens, maybe goats. I'm afraid to have a cow because I'm not an animal girl, but I would love to know where all my food comes from. So I really don't know how to do any of this. I've had a garden for these last few years, and that has been amazing. It hasn't been able to be consistent in terms of growing food, my family. Um, we have a family of six, so it's me, my husband, and our 4 children, because we do share our children. And but I don't know. It's just I don't know how to do any of that stuff, and it's scary, but it's also exciting because it's a new way of living. And I've like just being at my garden. I've felt like this is what I think work was intended to be. It wasn't. I don't think intended, and I'm not saying this to knock anybody who's like obviously killing the game. You're out there, you're working, you're hustling, you got your bag. Like, do that, sis. I'm not knocking that at all. I think there's room and space for all these things. Ooh, horses. And then there are people who do it all. They have this, they're the boss babe, they've got all the things. So I'm just talking about me. Um, I think that like as I was like picking weeds and my body was it was hot outside and I was starting to sweat, but I could feel my muscles working, which lately, like literally I've like lost muscle mass and all types of things just from my lifestyle changing, but I could feel my muscles working and I was seeing the beauty that was manifesting right in front of me as I worked and knowing that the trees that I were tending to will make fruit for me. And I was like, I think this is the work that was intended for us. You know, we go out of our homes, we go to these places, we make the money, we make them money, and we come home and like we've got these beautiful neighborhoods and homes and like me just being home, you know, if I walk around with my kids, I see many cars are gone. Because everyone's gone. Like we're paying for these mini mansions and we're not even at home to enjoy them except weekends and nights. And like I think about, you know, it's kind of sad. It makes me sad because like people work really hard and should be able to enjoy more of life, not so much life being work. I guess outside of the home, I used to get so sad going to work. Not that work was difficult or I hated it. I mean, I didn't like not being at home. That was literally it. I wanted to be with my children. I was a teacher for 10 years in the public school system. Now I homeschool my daughter, and all of my children have been at home with me. And like my daughter, she went to school daycare at 6 weeks. No, oh, I was blessed because I was a teacher. I had her in April. I just took the rest of the year off for leave, and then it was summer. So I was able to be at home with her for the first 4 months, and um, then I was so sad. I didn't want to leave her at daycare, but I didn't have a choice. I had to pay daycare out of pocket, no assistance. So I was a single mom, even though her dad is my now husband, right? But I was a single mom. Um, so there was no assistance from me because as a teacher, I made too much money to qualify for benefits, but I was struggling. And so it was just all around sad. I didn't want to leave her. I wanted to be a part of her, you know, growing up and making those first, you know. A lot of times, and if you've got a really good daycare person, they will not tell you that they saw your child make their first steps or say some of their first words. They won't say it. They'll let you see it that weekend, you know, when you're at home with your kid. And oh my God, she's walking, but you're missing those moments. And it used to make me sad. But then, and with my son, same thing. He went to daycare for a little while. Actually, I left him at home with his dad, with my husband for a while until he started working, and then we put him in daycare. And I was sad. We were getting up before the sun came up for me to wake him up unnaturally at an unnatural time for him, get him dressed, you know, take him, drop him off at daycare. Me and my daughter would then go on to work, which I was late like every day because the daycare opened at a certain time, so I was at the mercy of the daycare. Um, and it was the best for us to use because it was on the way. I don't know what that is. Some kind of animal. I don't know. That's so weird. Hold on, you gotta see this. What in the world? What the world? I saw it blowing in the wind. It was hanging from the tree, but I thought it was just like a piece of something. Interesting. I don't think it'll bite me, so I'm not gonna bother it. But you know, so he would go to school. We would go drop him off, continue on to the elementary school that I was working at. And I would drop her off to her class and let her go do her learning, which was great because I was at school with her, so I knew her teacher. Like, she had an excellent teacher, and it was just, it worked out, for what it was. And then, sorry, it's like blowing in the wind. I don't want it to blow on me. Oh, 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 ah! Go away. Blow over there, or whatever you're doing. I don't know if it's flying now. Lord, what in the world? Lord, what is that? Oh my God. I think it's flying. Or is it just lightweight? Just like, that is so weird, y'all. I don't even know, but I want them to go away. But, um, after school, here, little guy, get on this. Come on. Look. He is on he does have a web. Can you see that? Oh, there you go. He does spin a web and he's trying to catch onto something. That's so neat. Oh, God is so good. That's so neat. I'm gonna put you down over here, buddy. You gotta go find somewhere. Get away from me. Eat some grass. Okay. Not my business. Let him mind his. Um, yeah, but anyways, by the time we left, let's say school got out, I can't even remember now. I got off at 3:30. Hmm? Okay, so I pick her up. By the time we get to him through traffic across town, it's about 4:30. Pick him up, get our cuddles in and kisses, and then go home. Now it's time to cook and all the things, and that's it. I only got like 4 or 5 hours with him before it was bedtime and time to do it again. And this makes me so sad. Um, but then I had him in 2020, January 2020. You know what happened in 2020. So, yeah, all that happened. And then that's when I went back to work in August. We started daycare in like October. And so he finished out daycare through the end of the year. But in December of 2020, I was pregnant again. And so I was excited because we got married in 2020. So a lot happened that year. Had a baby, got married, got pregnant again. And so I knew that, we were gonna have two kids in daycare plus my daughter. And we are just gonna make it work, right? We had two incomes at the time, so it was fine. But then for financial reasons I had to go ahead and pay some things, so I didn't get my first appointment until about early February. I was like almost 2.5, 3 months when I had my first appointment. And I got there, the doctor says, there's two in there, right? Now I knew I had been extremely sick, but I thought it was gonna be a girl and she was just kicking my butt. Well, I had a boy and a girl. So because of that, I was able to say, you know what? My husband was like, it's fine. I can handle these bills. You go ahead and just stay home, and that way we'll be saving money. Because I had done the math, and on my teacher's salary, I would have been spending literally every penny on daycare for the twins and Jerome, who was only one at the time. So it made sense. And I stopped working. And in that, I have been able to experience seeing Jerome learn how to talk, be potty trained, knowing that's my work. That's my handiwork. I got to do that. And then my children, my twins, like literally have never been to daycare. The most that we can say they've done for daycare is like to stay and play at the Y. Which they enjoy. They have a great time. Jerome did some programs for early learning at the Y, which were free. Like it's been amazing. Um, Caitlin continued to go to school. She took the bus for first and second grade. But last year for third grade, we decided to homeschool. And so a whole nother year of learning, but that came through me. Like learning these math concepts, learning some historical things because we took a trip to Memphis and got to see some historical sites. Like it was just amazing. I don't want to go back at all, but now I'm coming into another season where I potentially will have to re-enter the workforce because yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. But with that being said, I'm trying to get to a place where all of that will become um not temporary, but just a means to get this. I said all that to say this. I want to be able to buy a chunk of land. My husband wants us to buy land that we can build investment properties on and then move into our forever home. I don't care how it goes. Investment properties to the long term home, that's fine. But if it can be on this, that's the goal. And but I don't know where to start. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no income. My husband has been on and off, laid off, and we've been having some financial problems. So I don't know. I really don't know what my future holds, but I know who holds the future. I'm not saying that to be cliche. I mean that completely. And I know that this vision, this new me, is God breathed and God ordained because, again, this was not my dream. I was okay with my kids being in school. I wasn't okay with them being in daycare. I didn't want to miss the younger years. And now I've been home for 3 years with my kids, and they will be entering VPK next year. This school year, my son Jerome is going to VPK. He's 4. So they will re enter that so that I can get a grip on life and finances. Um, but they're talking. I just want this. And I think that this is something that God wants for me. And self sustainability, I know people are like, oh, country life is easy living. And all the YouTube slow living videos have us thinking, like, oh, this is so great. She's up making her coffee in the morning, going outside, reading her book, you know, gardening. It looks glamorous. But one thing I do know is in real life, slow living is not an easy life. I won't say slow living. Country living is not an easy life. It is going to be a life of work. When you want to be self sustained, you are doing the things that you typically go to work to pay for people that you're outsourcing that to, you know? So I completely understand that reality too. I'm not like living in a fantasy of slow living. I know that it's going to take some grit, and I want that. I don't want to put all my energy and grit towards someone else's dynasty or towards educating other people's children. Although it's a noble and wonderful job, and somebody's got to do it. So I'm always going to be a teacher advocate, always. But for my family, I want to help my kids to be able to be independent learners and, just be able to explore their own interests and not just having to, you know, be herded into learning what everyone's learning because we need to get you following the standards. That's a whole nother video, okay? Don't get me started on standards. I'll just say this: the standards are written well, in terms of the hopes of getting everyone prepared for life, right? But what is a standard? We are individuals. So it's kind of stifling at the same time. We're not all meant to be the same. We're not all meant to be on the same level. We're not all meant to be great at the same things at the same time. It just, the more that I have my freedom, the more I feel like these systems, not just the school system, but these systems in the world, not just this country even, they are holding us hostage because those who are being innovative to the higher degree, right? Like Elon Musk, I haven't extensively researched him, but just from the little bit I know, that he kind of just took his interest to another level. And maybe he wasn't an A student, I don't know, but he found a way to capitalize on his interest, and look at him, super successful. It's not that school is bad, school is great, but it's just, I think that it could be more versatile. We need to bring back trades for sure, and I don't know why we're taking that away. Like, I have learned that children, and I'm way off what I was talking about, which is wanting land, but I understand that children are capable of many things and different things, and like we can inadvertently hold them back from their maximum potential. Like, my kids, they want to like build. They're only like 4, but they want to use the drill. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's not something they'll ever do. They might get to pretend at school, but at home they actually get to see daddy doing that. And then they actually get to try it. And really just decide who they want to be, what they want to do, and like just get in there and learn it. And that's the best way to learn. Like, this book stuff, you need knowledge. I definitely want my doctors to be certified and well trained, okay? So let's not, sometimes people take things to the extreme. You know what the hell I'm saying. Excuse my language. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here because I'm at 20 minutes and I have just rambled, but you've learned a little bit about me today, and I just hope that when we look back, it's getting busy out here. When we look back at this video, however long from now, hopefully I will be on my land. I will have learned some skills. I will be more self sufficient. My children will be at home and learning, but also contributing to community and, you know, just being stand up citizens. And yeah, then we can talk about sharing all the information for those of you who also want to do this. But I'm just a girl starting from scratch, but I'm going somewhere. All right. Bye.